Greetings, everyone. This is Dr. Chef, better known as Dr. Chef Felicia Ann Hill. It's good to be back here on this Motivational Monday. Yes. I'm coming in, yes, about 30 minutes behind schedule, sometimes 15 minutes behind. Want to make sure that we had everything clear because I had noticed that the quality was not good on YouTube for the last two segments. So thank you all for those of you all that have tuned in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am making it through this month. I am seeing now where I'm getting information in from Facebook now. It's going to allow me in. So this will give different ones time enough to tune in. Oh, let me know for those who are, for anyone that's not driving or that's not working, if the quality looks a little better for you all. I am in a different location right now, and so I never know, and I didn't have time to do the check. And yes, this work is patient, as they say, in your soul. Because I could not afford to do right now to have a good sound quality check person. That costs more, as you all know. And so I am taking advantage of my humble beginnings. No, don't know too much practice. Um, so I'm just going to wait a second. The quality is a lot better from what I'm seeing. And I'm going to tune in for Facebook. I was not able to do it at the same time because Facebook was lagging, you all. But I know that someone's going to need it. But then the past minute, I was able to think. Yeah, think. Yeah, no, I always use that, think. So I say the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and more importantly, is a terrible thing to put waste in or to allow waste in. And my God, don't we have a lot of that going on today? So if you all don't mind, I'm going to allow my family, friends, brothers and sisters to Facebook, different ones to tune in because they did not get a chance to go live with me um, for the last segment. Greetings, Facebook. It is I, Dr. Chef. I'm here now. You all are tuned in here for Motivational Monday, September the 23rd. Yes, y'all, this is in a month. This is in a month full of a whole lot of important things here. So hopefully, prayerfully, you all are making it home safely for those who have worked first shift or also the stay-at-home moms. So get a shout out to the stay-at-home moms and the retirees. Come on now, y'all. I know how the day is. The life shifts, and then you have to try to figure out what you're going to do for your time of day. Well, I want to say right now on this Motivational Monday with me, I highly appreciate you all taking out the time to support and to tune in for your motivational, good spiritual, prayerfully uplifting time. For me, I'm giving you all an hour or so of this talk because I've learned that it has been more beneficial for me to share it with the different ones, especially with my clients and those that need the support in this perilous times that we live in. And so this is what's been my inspiration to continue to do this because also it's a better way of getting hope to everyone because I can only speak to so many at a time. So of course, social media is very, very helpful in that way to use the platform for such a thing. For we know on this web, they're using it for so many other buffoonery, and so many are becoming famous and popular and rich and wealthy for using platforms like this to just practice all different types and nature of foolishness and things that are not helpful for our people's eyes, for the mind, and for our souls, and not for our families, not for the society, for the world. And so I've chosen, and I'm very thankful and humbled by God that I have the mind to continue on to feed things that are good and preferably that's helpful to my brothers and sisters and to all of you all that decides to tune in now and later. So please like and share. That is a way that you can support my channel, is by liking and sharing to those that you think that this segment would be a really good help for. And I promise you this one's going to be a good one, y'all. I mean, and literally, I told you all, I don't make a script. I can't do it. I tried. And yeah, it went okay a few times, but so much come to mind when I'm trying to think, to sit, to think of something to share with you all. And I know it may seem to be easy to do that for those who life is mostly lived on these platforms. That's not I have things outside of here, like some of you all do, that may tune in from time to time. You don't have all day to watch TV or to be on the internet. Neither do I. Even if I'm not tending to my clients outside of here or doing any type of community support and help, then that means that it's time for me to study. It's time for me to do self-help work on myself. And so being a mother, being a sister, being an auntie, being a friend, being the spiritual person that I am, that all the many different works that I've been privileged and been blessed to be able to be a part of, woo, it's enough to keep one's mind busy and keep my life busy, being a help and not a hindrance. And so now today's segment, I know you're all wondering, what am I going to work on here? And so greetings again to different ones that's tuning in. Please let me know if you're in the chat. If you're able to, let me know. This is going to be on what we feed the mind. And I told you all a while back, if anyone that's tuned in from segments before, I told you all that I was going to get to a particular book. And I don't know if it's some of the same ones to tune in from now or any other time. And yeah, I know you all wonder, why she got the smile on her face? Why she got the smile on her face? Well, I'm going to tell you why. First, I'm happy to be alive and well, even in the midst of this chaotic world that we live in. Second of all, I'm really glad that I'm almost to the end, you all. And I would like to start off by saying, well, please, for those of you all that do believe in the power of prayer and that have a prayer life, please send out good positive prayers to those who are homeless, those who are sick, those who are in need, but not just your prayers, for those of you all that actually can help. Please be a help to them as well. So I'd love to motivate our minds to be able to do that wherever you are in this world when you're tuned into this channel. Then also, I like to send out a particular special prayer to for my son, Kenneth Nigel Moore. If you all would send out prayers for him, as you all know, he turned 25 this year, and he is most definitely in need of some prayer. I am not ashamed. I'm that mother that I don't believe in giving up for my children. Hey there, Sister Dorothy, good to see you. And so keep him in prayers. He's facing some real important choices and decisions that he has to make in his life in this month. And I need for good prayers to go out on his behalf, because I believe in that. Yes, I do. I believe in that. It's what I was raised on, and it's something that I've seen that has worked down throughout the years, along with the work that's put in, that God works in his favor for the things that the good path that he's most definitely have his mind set to go forth in. As you all know, that is the son. He's my son that's given me my first grandchild, my first grandson, Kareem. And so for that cause, I want you all to continue to pray for him, that everything that God have originally had in store for him, that it works out in his favor for his good. That's how I would like to state that, okay? And then for any other mothers, y'all know what I'm talking about, especially those of y'all that have grown children. While you're praying for mine, pray for everybody else's too. And if you're in a position on this Motivational Monday to help another mother and father with their children, whether they be young or old, then I encourage you to do so. Do so, because we need the village, you all. That's what we are here for. Each one teach one, and we need one another. My late Bishop John H. Pettifer used to say, I need you, you need me, we need one another. And those of us, and I know sometimes we get upset with each other. Sometimes we don't like the way some of us go about doing things in life. I know I've been there. I cannot say and act like for 1 second that I have liked or that I wanted to work with everybody that I've had opportunities to work with. But because there was certain type of um, common interests and um, a lot that we could do that could work that would make a world of a difference. I set aside my pride. Yeah, I had to set aside my pride, or I set aside what I didn't like about the individual, and I worked for the better good of the community. I worked for the better good for those who tune in all over the world. And then my time is up. My time is up. And it wasn't up in an easy way either, because I overstayed my time in the way God wanted me to do it as far as helping. I needed to seek his face, as they say. I was supposed to seek God's face even the more so, and not allow myself to get blindsided at all by the flesh or by other desires that others had that wasn't good, while I'm trying to do a good work to help our people. And so I've learned from that. And so when I say try to be a help one to another, I mean do that with the wisdom and the help of God, okay? Because just because we know it's a lot of us that need help out here, but you can't help everybody. Some people, unfortunately, trying to help them. And I will say this, I like to divide this right when I say things that I hear others say, but I'd like to put the disclaimer in there too, because I know with the mental sickness and the mental illnesses that we have here today, and especially with social media playing a major part in trying to teach people how to think and how to do, a lot of times we lose sight of the basics. A lot of times we lose sight. If you have spiritual upbringing that's really good and moral, and that has a dose of good practical and good principles, we lose sight of it. And we think that we can just do how we want to do whenever we want to do it. But I've often said it many times, you can be doing the right thing at the wrong time with the wrong people, and it still will not turn out right. And so my last 2 years have taught me that. And I've had to start completely, totally over, from my home, from my children, from relationship, from who I fellowship with, everything. The only ones that have survived me working with and that I helped was those that were truly there in the beginning, that had the love of God, truly had the love of God in their heart, that meant well by myself and all of those that were attached. They didn't. They stuck in with the nitty gritty, because like minds stick together, not those who you just have certain like mind thoughts with. Like minds, but more importantly, like spirits, like hearts, stick together. Even if Satan tries to break them apart, they can't. They still find their way back because their hearts were in the right place. That's what I've learned. And so when I say that we're supposed to help one another, I mean that by assessing too. And as Mother Brady just shared with me, and she is most definitely one of the elders, very, very beautiful soul, wife of almost 50 years, a mother, activist, very, very good supporting. Oh my God, I can't thank my elders enough. When I say I can't, it gets me almost choked up, you all, because that is what I give a lot of credit to. It's been the God that I've seen in my elders that are very experienced, that are in places of stability that I've always wanted to have in my own life. That has been very instrumental, very encouraging at times. And so today, that's what she shared. She said, "You know what?" She said, "I like that." She had a very sweet voice. She said, "You know what? I really do like that scripture that says, 'Acknowledge God in all your ways, and He shall direct your path.'" And so I said, "Yeah, mother." I said, she said that's one of her favorites. I said, "Yeah, that's one of my top 5 too." And so out of the whole hour conversation that we was able to have, That was one. And what I was doing is I was seeking wisdom from her as a mother. Um, and she was more than happy to give it. She was seeking certain health information from me, and I was able to give it. And so this is what I mean by when it's healthy, you all, when it's good. She's supporting me, I'm supporting her. And that's the way we should be. And there's nothing ill in between that, because, and then we talked on the matters of jealousy, envy, strife. She spoke wisdom into me about the importance of relationship, marriage, how we should, how she shared with me how, with me mentioning that I think that jealousy and envy is one of the most detrimental ones, that we don't think about the levels, because you really don't know it until you start working with someone, until you live with them, until you marry them, until you have to really truly have to be around them. You don't really truly know who loves you and who's for you, until you have to be in their life. And it's said like that. And so that's what I mean when I say help one another. I mean to try to assess that and do that with as much wisdom and with as much of acknowledging God in all your ways. Meaning, yes, pray. Father, help me. I have my desires, I have my sight, but you have yours, and I need yours, because I don't know everything. So I come before you all on this Motivational Monday to motivate you all to acknowledge God in all your ways and let Him direct your path. And you'll know, because the path won't be made. Everything that Satan throw at you is going to be one, you'll be able to overcome it, not just from your will and your own strength, but you'll be able to overcome it with joy. You'll be able to overcome it with woo child. You'll be able to take and overcome it and still feel happy. So it's just like I'm looking at myself as you all are looking at me, and I'm like, man, I like that smile. Yeah, I can promise you, I know that it came from me just having that one conversation, that one talk from that one pure spirit that's been here to see all of the history of what we've seen for 70 plus years now. And all I can think is, when I get more mature, um, I want to have that spirit. I want to have that spirit of love. I want to still be able to encourage those who's younger than me. I want to still be able to have it in me to show up to things that's good, that's helpful to our community. I want to still be able to feel love. I still want to be able to speak and have conversations with people, and they can hear that I care, and still be able to learn something from them, and them learn something from me. That's what I have a desire of doing. So that's enough to keep me with the drive, you all. That's enough to keep you with the drive, to keep going on, even in your 30s, even in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s, 80s, 90s. Can I go more? Okay, so let's get down to the good. I think we got, how you been doing, Sister Dorothy? Please send my greetings to your beloved husband and king and family. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, you all. And thank you all again for those who all sent in donations, different ones that sent in donations and support. Thank you all for those who are that's been supporting, that's ordered your CMOS is calling to order your immune spray. That's still up for options for you all to do that. I'm gonna throw this in here because I know everybody can't tune in for Wellness Wednesday, so Motivational Monday give you all the opportunity that I do have it, where you have deal where you can sign up for $25 through me and be a part of my team, where we have a universal immune booster spray, 30-day supply. That's only $40 that you all, but one-time fee of $25 that you all can sign up for. This spray helps to boost the immune system and to help clear the body, rid the body of mucus, and to help to get you to that 4 points and above, to where when they say flu season, you all, you know what time this is for those of us that live in the 4 seasons weather like we do here. You get the spray. It smells good. It tastes good. One of the number one base formulas in it is the colloidal silver. I am out of stock of my own personal, so I have to promote this particular spray. I don't have it before me right now, but it's in a little bottle. It comes in orange and mint. Please, for those of you all that's interested, go down there. If you see for more, I am in the chat. I put in there where you can call in for your consultation and coaching. Then that's the same number that you via text if you're interested in the spray. That also means for sea moss. I got some right here sitting on the side. That's for your body, y'all. That's for your health, because everybody knows what I teach here. The few that tune in, I teach that your health is your wealth. I also teach that your health affects your spiritual and your mental health. So you can't have one without the other. You can, but you're going to put too much strain on it. It's just like in a relationship, just like when you're in a family, or if you're on a job, whoever is doing the most work, that's the person who's getting worn down the most. That's the person who eventually they're going to have to call in sick because it's too uneven. So if you got good mental health right now, but then your spiritual health is not good, meaning you have no real good connection with God. You have no spiritual balance there. Somewhere along the line, you're gonna start leaning, and the same with us, with our health and our wellness and how we maintain in this life, regardless of what the economy is doing. That matters. One, if you don't have that good health while you're trying to build wealth, then eventually sickness will catch up with you, and you won't be able to continue to build the wealth that you need unless you was blessed enough to have as they say, fortune or inheritance passed down to you. And even then, you still want to be coherent enough and healthy minded enough to be able to distribute that in the proper way. And the only way you can do that is when you're healthy in the mind and when you're healthy spiritually. Okay, but I got a special treat. Hey, dear Sister Denise, please like and share if you can. I love it when different ones tune in. Oh boy, and Sister Dorothy, most definitely. Look, I'm serious about getting to North Carolina, preferably even before this time, August, the end of August. Preferably I'll be able to get there in no time. I want some. Look, I want some of that watermelon. I got some now that was chopped up for me, y'all. Yeah, I'm still there, y'all. So even though this Motivational Monday, I have to put that health beat segment in there for you all. But now we get to the good part, y'all. Let's get to the good part. Let's get to the good part. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, come on now. Okay. What we feed our minds. Y'all think that it's about what I'm saying, right? No. Remember the book I told y'all to get? My dear beloved brother, yes, The Mathematics of the Mind by Brother Nuri Muhammad. Yes, I don't see nobody online trying to talk about it as much, but I'm finna be one. I don't believe I'm a trailblazer. Look, like I'm a pioneer in the game. Yes. I don't like to wait for nobody else to support. I don't like to wait for other people to support. When I see something that's good, that's healthy, and no, it's not brand new. The knowledge has been there. But some of us know how to take things and put it together in a way that more of us can understand it sometimes, or for those of our time, they can. And maybe those of you all that are universal, you can. And so I thought that when I sat down, y'all, I told you I didn't have a script. I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about? A motivation money. I can always give a good testimony. I was thinking that to myself. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And I was like, okay, what am I? And so some say, you need to go pull out that book. You're not finished reading all of it yet, because I got other reads that I need to read up on. So I'm going to read a passage out of here, and prayerfully, hopefully, I'm for sure that it's going to help you all, okay? So I'm going to start with The Mathematics of the Mind from Brother Nuri Muhammad. You can go online and order this book, you all, to my understanding. And I'm coming from out of page 15 in the book called The Mathematics of the Mind, okay? And it is titled, What We Feed the Mind. I'm starting off now, y'all. Remember to like, share. Those of you all that want to send cash apps, I will put the cash app in there to support so I can stay tuned in for Wellness Wednesday for your free health coaching, which usually range from about an hour and a half up to 2 hours of free health coaching come Wednesday. And so now I'm getting ready to get into this because I just from what I saw already, it was motivating me. And so we're all reading this together at the same time. I have not read this passage yet. I wanted to save it for you all. Okay, here we go now. Come on now. All right. The mathematics of the mind means that whatever we feed the mind, the most is what wins. Did you hear that? All right. If a thought becomes a word and a word becomes an action, the action becomes a habit, and habit makes character. Ooh-wee. Character makes future. Mm. Then we have to be consciously downloading information that creates peace and harmony. Is that what we see that's going on in social media right now? Peace and harmony? No, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not seeing that for the election. I'm not seeing that for the hip hop, the music. I'm not seeing that even so-called for our religious movements and everyone speaking of who got the truth and who don't. And so this is very, very important, you all. So when I just read just the first little paragraph, I said, oh yeah, this is it for Motivational Monday. This is it. I need to share. Okay. So we'll go back over there again because you need to let that sink in. It says, if the thought becomes a word and a word becomes an action, action becomes habit. Habits make character. Character makes future. Then we have to consciously downloading information that creates peace and harmony. All right. Finally, brethren, here he goes. He quotes, finally, brethren, whatsoever thing is true. This is one of my favorite scriptures, you all. Whatsoever thing is honest. Everybody got a problem with that today. A lot of people got a problem with that today. Whatsoever thing is just. Is it just? Okay. Whatsoever thing is pure. Whatsoever thing is lovely. Did you get this? Whatsoever thing is of good report. Good report. If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. That was Philippians 4:8. I don't see scholars. Do y'all hear of any scholars or any Bible thumpers debating about this scripture? I don't. You know why? Because it's pure. It's lovely. Think about it. It's true. All of us know that's tuning in now, and those of us is going to tune in later. We get that anytime you're thinking on things like this promotes peace and harmony. This is the reason why I said I couldn't work with everybody. I've tried to work with certain individuals and certain people. Some of you all that tune in, you know that. But once again, I've had this scripture embedded in me. All praises be to God. I had this scripture embedded in me from a little girl up. And so, of course, naturally, whenever I have to practice anything outside of that, even if I'm upset, even if I feel not right about something, or I feel like I've been wrong, these type of scriptures pop back. These writings pop back in my mind because there's a passage that also says, the word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. It don't mean that you would never do any wrong, but you hide it in your heart, meaning in your mind, and remember it so that when someone try to catch you up in a whole lot of buffoonery, or they try to think that whatever they offer or whatever position that they have in your life, that they think that they can take it. They say bad communication corrupts good manners. I've been there. I have been there twice in my life. Yeah, I said twice. Where individual that was close to me had me in a state of mind where I was so furious with them not practicing whatsoever thing is true, honest, whatsoever thing is just. That justice is a big one, y'all, because the justice part come into play when we want to be a judge. But it still say whatsoever thing is just because we have the right to try to assess something doesn't mean that it's the right time to assess it, meaning it's not the right time to judge it. You may not be fit to be the best judge, even though it's true, even though it's honest. That's why I believe there was the wisdom in this scripture was so relevant. That is it just? Whatsoever thing is pure. Is it coming from a pure place, or are you just speaking on it in order to make somebody else feel bad about it? Are you just speaking on it just to make yourself look good? Or is it really coming from a pure place because you really feel for your brother, your sister, for the world and for the trouble that we see that's going on for America, the country that we live in? We see it's falling, y'all. And I'm gonna get to a book that talks about the fall of America soon. Give me some time. Hey there, Brother John. It's good to see you. I am reading from out of the book, The Mathematics of the Mind, Brother John. Just so you know, you're tuning in. If you want to zoom back a little bit, the announcements that I made, you can most definitely catch it in. And I'm on page 15 of this, and it's called What We Feed the Mind. And I just read from Philippians 4:8 is one of the scripture texts that was placed in this book that is very, very powerful. And I'm going to say it again because I want for us to remember this, because we got so much junk out here and so much toxicity. That's the real toxicity that's feeding the minds. I have glanced at things, but I cannot watch it all the way through if it is not true, if it is not honest, if it is not pure, if it's not just, if it's not loving, if it's not a good report, then, and it meaning if there be any virtue. See, we get so caught up in being a virgin. We get caught up in being so clean, health-wise, and making it seem like we got this clean lifestyle that we live. But when it says virtue, I believe that it's talking about the virtue of the mind, the morale in you. I believe now. Okay. Anybody got a different take on it and you're able to tune in, please type it in the chat and let me know what you think that means, the virtue mean. Okay, because I have my dictionary before me right now because I love to break that word down. And I'm going to get to that point on my Motivational Mondays too, okay? Because I think you all have heard, but those you all that faithfully tune in, you have heard a lot of my testimonies of what I've shared that I would preferably has helped some of you all so that you understand why I do what I do. And that being said, I'm going to read on past this part. It says, our minds are made up of the deposits that we put in. These types of thoughts are called tonic thoughts. Falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, and slander, and all toxic thoughts. This is the reason why a lot of us are divorced, but we like to blame it on America. No, a lot of this we've had in us, you all, from your upbringing. You come from toxic families. We come from, oh, let's talk about each other's. Let's be jealous of our brother and sister. I talked to my elder about that too today. And I was explaining to her that I remember an incident where I ain't gonna call out any names because they've been delivered. But it was a good example. And it started very early on. And I remember I had a sibling that you all remember when the babies would come home. I was about 7 at the time. I was going on 7 years old. And I remember my baby sister, you know, they come back and the biblical card is already, the little tip of it is still there. And then you got to wait for about a week or two for it to fall off. Mothers and fathers are tuning in. You know what I'm talking about. Or any of you all that are older and you had siblings. Well, I had a sibling that as my mother would be practicing cleaning the umbilical cord area there until it fall off with the peroxide and the Vaseline. I remember me taking notes, looking at, oh, okay. And my baby sister looking a little bit uncomfortable, but not a lot of uncomfortable. But I remember how gentle she was trying to make sure that she was nurturing and make sure it wasn't any infection taking place. But then I had another sibling that they decided that they want to pull at it and mess with it every time my mother would walk away. If she was going to get the bottle or she was going to the restroom. And so I noticed that because they would do it and she would see the baby get to a place where she would, and I would look at it and I was like, wait a minute, that's not what mama did. I'm going somewhere here, y'all, with this. And I did not practice this. So just know, flow with me, y'all, flow with me. I'm like, in my mind, even at going on 7 years old, I was thinking to myself, girl, like, you're crazy. That's hurting the baby. That's not how mama did it. And so I would push her away. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. You hurt her. And I remember seeing a look on my sibling's face. My sibling was not ready to be no longer considered the baby anymore. Because she was about 5 at that time. So you all can imagine there was a gap there. And so now for my first time, this is the first incident where I'm remembering the discomfort of realizing that I'm looking at how my mother cared for that in the biblical guard and how my sibling at the time that was just not that much younger than me thought that it would be okay to do exactly the opposite of what she was telling her to do. And so I looked at her little eyes when it squished up, and it was not a pleasant look, you all. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what to call it, because I didn't know at that time what jealousy, what envy was. And so all I knew was that I have to go into protective mode of my baby sister and watch when mama walk away. When mama walk away to go in there, so I could not go play with a doll at that time, you all. I had to be attentive to make sure that every time mama walked away from it, and no, my mother did not ask me to. Sometimes you all, once again, acknowledge God in all your ways and he shall direct it. It's not just about where you want to go in life. It's not just about what how much money you want to make. You all, this thing starts, it's the little foxes that can destroy the whole vine, is what I'm gathering out of this. It starts with the little things. And so I'm looking, and I remember just going through that. It seemed like it lasts forever. I'm like, oh, I'll be glad when this thing goes. So when I started noticing it, start leaning off a little bit, then I said, oh, okay, good. It's finally getting ready up. But I'm still watching this sister. And so that became part of my character, you all. I then at that time was being created to be a protector of those who were hurt, or those who appeared to be hurting, or for those who were younger, or those that couldn't help themselves. So you can imagine, I never liked the bully. I never did. And to this day, I didn't realize until I started reading this, that's about, it seems like that's where it started with me, you all. That I have to make sure that I share things and help in some type of way, not just with vitamins and good, healthy information, but anytime you see, and I believe that this is what we need to adopt, you all. In a time where people are bullying and being overly aggressive with each other because somebody have been like that to them. Now, I don't know if that had happened to that particular sibling, to be fair, to be just. I don't know if that happened to, but I know I wasn't the sibling that messed with her biblical card. I know I didn't do it to her. And I know I watched her too and was looking out for her too. But I can't say I was there the whole time because our space between us was not huge. I'm going to read on, you all. Once again, our minds are made up of the deposits that we put in. These types of thoughts are called the tonic thoughts, falsehood, lies, unjust. And I just talked to one of them about the lying that they used to do. And we just laughed because they used to lie. And I asked her, because she's fully grown now, I said, why did you used to lie like that? I'm just curious, why come everybody could never tell that you was lying, but I could? I said, you do realize that you taught me how to look out for liars. And thankfully, we're at a mature age now, you all. This is a conversation much earlier today. Then, mind you, I didn't know I was going to be reading this book. I didn't even know this is in the book, you all. So we're reading this together, okay? And so we laughed about it now, but I was like, girl, you made me not like liars, impulsive liars. But I said, but I understood that you were so young. I believe it was for attention, I said. And I think that it was also because you wanted, I said, but what I couldn't understand is why everybody knew that once they caught you in the first few lies, why they would believe anything that you would say. Why would it take for you to finally tell the truth? And then it cost you something in order for people to stop believing you. And the first thing that came to mind is that just like what we see on social media, just like when we hear one side of a story, we pick and choose, just like what we're hearing with the debates of the presidential election. Most of us it's apparent that most of us are accustomed to believing a lie, because most of the time people are more colorful with their lies. They try to think of things that most people would find, that most people have an issue with. They also get more animated, not where we just move the hands. This is a normal thing, I believe, for most of us creative-minded people. We move our hands. That's not it. It's the expressions. Most of 75% of our expressions and communication is done with facial expressions, all body language, not with the mouth. It don't matter. Yeah, I know. They can say you can say about 3,000. A woman can say about 3,000 words a day. Where a man can say less. The body can make more expressions. I know for a fact. More than 3,000 expressions throughout the day when we are communicating in a manner, but even with being quiet. And that's why some people have learned the tactic to say, don't you know how to save face? And I remember when I was asked that question when something was really bothering me. And yes, I was supposed to come before you all. And when I was asked that question, I saw it as a sarcastic thing to be asked. But I also saw it as a fake thing, as an unjust thing, as not something that was a virtue. And so now I'm starting to realize now, as I'm maturing, that this is the reason why I can't stay long, or anything or anyone cannot stay long in the midst of me if they're expecting for me to practice once again these unjust things. And so I'm going to continue reading. Our minds are made up of the deposits of that which we put in it. These types of thoughts are called tonic thoughts. You all may want to look up tonic thoughts: falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip. What we got? Gossip sessions going on, y'all, building platforms. And now that people are getting paid for it, you get likes on it. People got segments on gossip, you all. Gossip about the sins and the unjust things and the impure things that so-called superstars, look at that name, superstars are doing, or maybe call them fallen stars are doing. Once again, if the world lifts you up, they're the ones going to tear you down. And this is the same in religion too. If the people build you up, we saw that with, if I could think back with Elijah Muhammad, no matter how much great that he did to uplift the community and to try to help take and educate us on who we were as a people, the moment all it took was for one family member to come along and try to up that the enemy, or those who hated him and those who did not want to see us do well as a people, all they had to do was infiltrate an unhappy family member and have them to speak against their own father. Are we not seeing that now with these cases, you all? And I am deliberately not saying these names on purpose, because I believe that most of us know to whom I'm speaking of. But because the list is getting bigger and bigger, it's getting larger and larger, I don't have it. I don't even want to give power to it. I just want to use it as an example of how this is still relevant to today, and how we cannot lose sight on this Motivational Monday. We cannot lose sight of this is what we need to be motivated on practicing, you all. I know I am. I pray that you all are. All right. Now I'm going to continue on. Yeah, this is good. Falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, slander, and all toxic thoughts. That which is toxic, tonic heals. It says that which is tonic heals, and that which is toxic kills. I like that. I like that. That which is tonic heals, and that which is toxic kills. This is a good book, you all. I think you all should go out and get it. I know it don't cost no more than $20, y'all. That's your little sneaky little snack money. If you look, give that away. Some of y'all give that away to grandchildren and the children and the people that you want to help, and you don't know what they're going to do with it. I know I have. And so I say invest in this book, The Mathematics of the Mind by Brother Nuri Muhammad. It is a really good read. Okay, falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, slander, and all toxic thoughts. That which is tonic heals, and that which is toxic kills. I have to keep them, man. I got to keep using it. I got to do a segment on that. Which chapter to come? We will go deeper into these two types of thoughts and foods, tonic and toxic. The words action, habit, and character that will come from thinking these types of tonic thoughts will allow our hands to absolutely set us in heaven at once, and the toxic thoughts will set us in hell just as fast. I don't know about y'all, but I agree with that. And for those who like to debate whether or not there's another place outside of this earth, which we call heaven, or anything within the earth or under the earth, ain't no need of debating it. That heaven, that's still going to start in the mind. And that hell, we already know. Hell is so real to most of us. That's the reason why we say it all the time. Look, get hell out of here. You full of hell. We mean things that are toxic. You're full of trouble. You're full of anger. You're full of that is not healthy. You're full of that is not pure. That is not just. Okay. And so I've learned that you even have to be watchful for even those who work in that field where they've been taught to not trust anybody. They've been taught that most people are criminals. They've been taught. I've learned that the hard way. That you even got to watch out for people that work in those fields, because that type of spirit doesn't leave. It don't go away. Yes, it is helpful for you to be able to identify Satan. But then at the same time, it's also good for you to be able to get to a place to where you receive proper teaching, therapy, and counseling, and take it in to give you a balance of not to take on such negativity to the point to where you become that is not pure, to where you become that is not just, that is not honest. Y'all, I'm a single woman to this day because I cannot do liars. And when I say liars, I don't mean little liars. I mean habitual liars. You heard it from me today. I'm a single woman to this day. Take it as I say it, because I cannot stand habitual liars. That's the number one for me. I don't expect for us to be perfect, you all, and you all shouldn't either. But I do strongly believe in us striving for perfection. I don't believe in us making excuses. And I can't see us making it by making excuses of why we do what we do. No, just own it. Because we can't heal as a people until we acknowledge what we fail. I don't come from that era where a computer was always in my face. All praises be to God. And that's the reason why my heart it really do go out for our youth that are being taught not just by parents and by those who help us. Hey, there's Brother Cal. It's hard for them, you all, as much as it irritates us, because we knew I'm a 70s baby. So you all understand, we grew up in that era. I'm that Gen X, as they call, that were, if you disrespected auntie, neighbor, anybody could get you. Anybody could whoop you, could chastise you, set you in your place. And if they say, we know your mama done taught you better than that, we knew what that meant. Well, come here, little girl, come here, little boy. Meaning we had a village still around us. And so today you don't have that. I know I've taught my children that it doesn't matter that they are of this 20 plus, some of that. I've taught my children, so there's no adult, none. I have got not one report, thank God. And I'm not saying that they are perfect. No, they are not. They're still going through their growing pains. But I'm saying I have not one adult. That adult would have had to really be something treacherous in order for them to raise a voice or say anything. But when I say 99% of the way, 99, I haven't had no adult that's ever been around me that said that my children disrespected them. Always yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Even if you're in the wrong, they're not going to come out and curse you out or do you in. Because that I imparted in them. They get on my nerves before they get on yours. But I tell you who would, the 1% that did, they were practicing what I stated beforehand. They were not practicing following my brother, whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever thing is honest, whatsoever thing is just, whatsoever thing is pure, whatsoever thing is lovely, whatsoever thing is of good report. They had to be not practicing this in order for them to ever get to a place where they couldn't feel like they could honor someone that is considered an elder to them or older than them. And so I'm thankful that I grew up in that era, you all, but I'm more thankful that I'm able to see that we cannot lose sight of these particular principles. We cannot lose sight of that. This is, even for those who don't believe in the Bible, for those who all that know that the translation's been changed, for those who all that, you may have been hurt by those. Once again, there are still certain truths that are written that have not been tampered with, that is still good for us as human beings. It's good for us to practice because it alleviates us from all this mental stress. It helps to keep families together. And where, my God, the reason why I do feel for our men, I really do. I do. I should know. I've been married. I have what, 16, almost what, almost 15 to 16 years of marriage underneath my belt of experience. And no, I don't have to experience it no more right now. But I saw the stress and anxiety and what it does, and the reason why the mental health is so much important. Women, for our men first, is because if they come from the area where they believe in being the head, most definitely if they thumping this Bible and claiming to believe in the Bible where the man is the head and the woman is the second self, then these actions have to be in him first, more so. Because if he constantly practices these things of not being true, not being honest, not being just, not being pure, not being loving, not being of good report, if he does not believe, if he thinks that it's simping, or he thinks that it's not masculine to be lovely, and we know our society don't teach our men to be that. We know now, all of us come up in that era. You are highly favored and blessed if you had a father coming up in my area and later that was loving. Because slavery and hardship and this falsehood of what a man should be has not given them permission to be loving. It has not. So if they didn't find it, if they didn't see it in grandpa and in their fathers, you wasn't going to receive it as a wife. The children can't receive it. And this is what has produced most of the failed relationships and marriages. Y'all, let's keep it 1 million. I can't help but to. And there are some of us who can take it. Clearly, I am one. Once again, I'm going to go back to the beginning. I am one that grew up on the text of whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever thing is honest, whatsoever thing is just, whatsoever thing is pure. I grew up in that. I grew up from watching siblings and watching the neighborhood and in the church. And I had good elders around me that were very transparent. Even my own mother and father was very transparent about the mistakes that they made in their life and that they don't want to do that and they don't want to see us go down that path. Now, did it stop us from making mistakes? Absolutely not. But what it did was, it was a good thing and it was a not so good thing. And the good part was that it made me trust those who were in authority over me, because they were able to show me their vulnerable side, but at the same time, they loved me enough. They loved us enough to teach us that you want to do better. We want to raise you to do better. And that's why I teach my children now. But I also realize that we have to realize that they do have to go down that path too, where they may go through the trial and error of finding out too. No, we cannot protect them for everything, even though the desire is strong. But we have to be careful, because then it makes them weak. It makes them not understand and not be able to see. If we're covering them for everything, then they will never know what pain feels like. I remember when my children would fall. I'll use this as an example. I remember when my children would fall, especially my son, because I had 3 girls and 1 boy at the time. And he was just as pretty as they was, with just beautiful eyes and long lashes and pretty brown skin and just as beautiful, perfect teeth, you name it. And every woman that was around us, even the women in the church, oh, girl, he gonna be a heartbreaker. I'm like, don't say that. Don't put that out there. Don't do that. I said, I know you're giving a compliment, but I would tell them. I'm saying, don't say that. But I'm saying that to say that when he would fall, I automatically just trained my brain and said, don't go up there. Oh, my baby. Oh, what happened? No, I said, oh, wow, you done fell there. Look at that little blood. Let me go get you a little cotton ball and what's called, woo, you strong. You got up from that. That's how I would teach him. And to this day at 25, he tells me, he says, Mom, I got to give it to you. He said, I don't think I could have made it through the things I made it through without your strength. He said, I know I get it from you. Now, out of all fairness, he gets it from his father too, because his father has fallen many times and gotten back up too. It may not be at the standard that some people are or feel like is great enough. It may not be at the standard that, let's be fair, let's be just. It may not be at the standard that I desire, but he's gotten back up. To this day, he preaches a sermon about keep going. Now, I didn't forget that because I got to be just for the sake of my children. Now, it wasn't always that way, but it is this way now because I realize as I'm maturing and as I'm sharing this with you all on the platform, how important it is for us to be just to each other. How important it is. When I say that I did not plan to read the book, you have to remember the saying that we used to say on my mama's grave, or remember we used to say that to prove that we was telling the truth, because we didn't think at the time that anybody would be evil enough to know to speak on the grave or the passing of a loved one that was near and dear to them. I don't know if it means anything today to this generation, because so much death has taken place and they're witnesses, especially like where I'm at in inner city, where every time you look up, I just got off the phone with my youngest daughter, and she told me how a friend of hers had a friend, a really close schoolmate friend that they hung out with, that just got shot and just got killed at 20 years old, 20 years young. And I could hear in her voice, she said, Mama, oh my God, Mama, we didn't grow up hearing that on a regular basis. And so I began to use it as a teaching tool. I said, do you all see again? Now, I knew she saw, but I just had to say it again. Why we didn't raise you all up in the streets. Why I know you all used to think that you all were outcasts because you couldn't go to every party or nobody's party where it was a chaperone with all the parents and I'm allowed to be there. But you couldn't participate in certain things because I could see the difference between how certain ones was raised. I knew my son would have to be faced with it as a Black man living in America. I knew they were going to go after him. Pretty, handsome, charming, knew how to speak. He knows how to speak because he got sisters. He knows how to finesse. He knows how to sell things, know how to be supportive. Young people just gravitate to him to the point to where you've gravitated to my son so much to the point to where it produced jealousy in someone that I was close to the point to where the jealousy caused them to not care about whether or not it could cost my son his life. Yeah, so this stuff is deep for me. This is deep for me. This stuff hits home for me. And I know it probably do for some of you all too. Hey, good evening, Sister Diane. It's good to see you all. Please like, share. This is Motivational Monday with Dr. Chef, also known as Dr. Felicia Ann Hill. Some of you all still call me Jordan, but Hill is my maiden name, okay? But here goes. So I'm going to continue reading here. In this chapter, it comes, we will go deeper into these two types of thoughts and foods, tonic and toxic, the word, action, habit, and character that would come from thinking these types of tonic thoughts will allow our hands to absolutely sit us in a heaven at once, and the toxic thoughts will set us in hell just as fast. Special notes: when these self-destructive, spiritual killing, toxic thoughts begin to show up in our minds, we have the authority over our minds to tell our minds, go get me a better thought. And hey, I like that. I like that. Oh, I love that. I don't know about y'all, but I love that. You have the authority that when toxic thoughts, when you click onto this internet, this web, you still have the authority to actually tell your mind, I need another thought. That's powerful, you all. How many people are actually teaching that amongst our community? Not many, not enough. I know, I've seen this. I could not stand knowing that I'm on Sister Tyra. I could not stand being on social media or even being one that would present material and have to constantly go on and on all day, back and forth, talking about what somebody said that was negative. I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. I will not. That was a thought that I chose to have. And I stand firm on it. Because it kills the spirit. If you don't watch it, you can be looking in the mirror, and after you done sit there and taking in all that negativity. And I mean, even for sports, that's why I even be careful with that, even though I love sports, y'all. I do. Yeah, that little melanin, this melanin that you can't see from my light skin. Oh, I come from very, very athletic people. And I play sports myself. We're very competitive people sports-wise. And we didn't believe in losing a game. However, it brings about aggression, you all. It brings about aggression. I know what I'm talking about. Certain sports. And then this is the reason why you don't see them advocating for their children to be athletes. We know the origin of it, the Greek origin of athletic sports. We know about competitiveness. But when it comes down to us trying to compete with each other, it's about who did what and whose lives is better, who got the most money, why you got your money, how you got your money. None of your business. Tell yourself, I have the authority to have another thought, because you can't mind your own business when you're minding other people's business. That's what I was taught by my elders. They should have a song, old church hymn song. Here it goes. It was man, that brother's voice was deep. That elder's voice. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. And they was just, who put love in your heart? Where he'll put love in your heart where there was hate. And then the background said, you need to clean it up. Be careful how you talk. Clean it up. And so this is something that I cannot be around. I most definitely can't have a covering or a head over me. That's obvious. That constantly speaks a lot of negativity. And I knew how to gracefully say that. How about let's shift? But even when you have unknowingly or knowingly practiced these things, you don't even realize, wives, husbands, leaders, fathers, mothers, we don't even realize just how much toxicity, how much that kills the spirit. I don't care who's adopted to. Once again, the world loves its own, meaning it loves the behavior of its own. So it can get a lot of views when Cat Williams is on, because the world loves its own. Of course, it's going to get up to millions and millions, because this is the behavior that's practiced among us. Nobody was in school. I don't know about y'all, but when I was in school, when you was in school, did the teacher teach you all about that? It was maybe one or two nice, as we call them, nice teachers that would say, well, you're supposed to treat each other right. If you was blessed to be part of a church where it was not other ungodly things going on, they would teach you about the 5 spirits of the fruit, what love is. But practicing it is another. And we didn't grow up having that accessible to us like what we have now in our hands, like the kids got in their hands. I know when my almost 5-year-old grandson, he'll be 5 in December, when he comes over, I don't put a tablet in front of his hand. His mother told me, he said, oh, well, his tablet is broken. I'm thinking to myself, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Yeah. She know me by now, too. She knows I have no reaction. I'm like, I went back into my church girls. I'm like, oh, yeah, glory, hallelujah. Now I can teach him something. Boy, put them shoes up in that corner right for me. Go ahead and do that, baby. Go ahead. Kareem, go put them shoes in the corner for grandma. He politely go put them shoes in the corner. Go grab grandmama the cup so I can get you something to drink. He politely go grab. Think. I could train them. I could train them well. You got to use the restroom, grandson? Yes, grandma, I got to use the restroom. Yes, Did you wash your hands? But they can't do that, and they got a tablet in their hand, looking at cartoons, stimulating their brains, and all these crazy thoughts. They can't do it. Use that cream. Go put your shoes up. They're in a trance. You have to call them 4 or 5 times. I said, the devil is a lie and ain't no truth in them. We gonna train their brains. I don't have to teach him to be polite. He is polite by nature, like his grandma was, like his father was, like his aunties, uncle. He's polite by nature. Very friendly young man. A young boy. Now I say, yeah, major manhood, yeah. And so I'd be so proud of him. He just naturally, it doesn't matter what's going on around him. I put him in play yard. It doesn't matter what's going on around him. It doesn't matter who he see pushing somebody. He'll automatically go and help and pick the child up. I said, whoa, boy, you're just like your father. I don't know how his mother was as a child because I wasn't with her. I didn't birth her. I didn't know her as a child. I know she has some kind ways about her, but I didn't know the mom, so I can only speak on how my son, his father, was. She did tell me that she got in a little trouble here and there. But it was, again, different household, different bringing, different upbringing. And so, saying all this to say, y'all, this is what we have to keep in mind when we say what we feed the mind. This is what my Motivational Monday, I almost went into a so words tie up your tongue there. And it says, a special notes, when these self-destructive, spirit-killing, toxic thoughts begin to show up in your mind, we have the authority over the mind to tell our minds, go get me a better thought. In 2 Corinthians 10:5, we read, to bring every thought captive unto Christ. This means we have the authority, the ability, and the assignment to arrest every thought. That's the only kind of police that I want to be, the one that can arrest any thoughts that's negative that's in my mind. Every thought, and compare it to the mind of God. Compare it, y'all. If it matches, keep it. If it does not match the mind of God, kill it. They'll give you permission to kill. This is a practical application process to letting this mind be in you, the same man that was in Christ Jesus, and being not conformed to the way of this world. What's the ways of this world? What we see on the internet. What's the ways of this world, you all? What we see on the internet. What is the ways of this world? I don't know about y'all, but I was always a child that was pulled aside when certain ones would get in trouble. And they said, can you pray for me? It's because they knew I was a church girl. And my mom made sure that we stayed in dresses all our lives. So I was just mentioning that to someone that we made the dresses. I didn't stop. I didn't really get a chance to start regularly wearing a pantsuit until I was 40. I'm 49 now. All praise be to God. Yeah. And never got to a place where I would doll up my face with a lot of makeup. I've tried maybe once or twice in my life, and I didn't like it. Yeah. And so I tell you, it's been a journey, but I was able to see the difference. That's not the place of a badge on myself or honor. That's the state that I've been able to see the difference because I look different than most of the children and young people and people around me. I carried myself different because I was taught to carry myself differently. And my mother was a woman of integrity, as they state. She got her little worldly ways out of her as under 22. And then she still shared all of those things. My father, same way, very hardworking man, always in the community doing deacon in this church where he was Seventh-day Adventist at the time, always doing something to help. And I didn't know to what extent until my father passed, my biological father passed. I didn't know how much he had done, because he was always working. And it wasn't until the funeral where I hear people say he was a gentle giant. My father was about 6'1", very muscular, beautiful, strong, black. I used to call him Shaka Zulu. Strong features. And yeah, beautiful man. That you don't want to. The only way I could see rage is if he was getting ready to protect something. Only time I seen him upset is when he was protecting something. But other than that, very kind to help anybody. Does the work of 20 men, the strength of 20 men. And so I only know strong, not just a strong voice, because my father had a very strong, deep voice too. I don't know just a strong voice. I know strong man, meaning mentally, knows how to learn how to discipline himself. But even with that, once again, he could not stand that either. People, rather whatsoever thing is true, he couldn't stand a liar. And I know I got that from him too. My mother would investigate a liar. My father just did not want to deal with you if you lied to him about anything. It was hard for him to trust if you lied to him, especially about something really important. And so I took on that too. Not so much with my clients. What I try and do is I try to encourage us to be truthful, because it's only in the truth shall your mind be set free. It's only in the truth can I even help you more, because now I know truthfully what I'm dealing with. So I give you an example. As a holistic practitioner, it's that hard for me when people find out that I practice eating more healthy, plant-based and fruits, and vegetation food, and they realize that, oh, she don't practice eating meat anymore. They automatically freeze. Some automatically freeze up, and they be afraid to say, oh, well, I got junk food. I got to, no, I explain that. Don't you be afraid to tell me that. I'm not your God. I am here to help. I am not your judge. I have not been appointed a judge. I am only here to help share with you what is ailing your body. I'm also here to find out what's going on in your mind that makes you not top priority, your health not top priority, seeing that God created you for a purpose, and that in order for us to fulfill that purpose, you have to be well. You have to be in good health if you want to fulfill that purpose, you all, in a good way, if you want to be able to finish the race. So it brought me back to the conversation that I had with my elder, Mother Brady. I call her Queen Brady. Very beautiful spirit. She said something today. And I say, it makes me think about the race. The scripture that says that the race is not given to the swift or to the strongest, but to he that endures to the end. Now, how ironic. My children, I married, and I was married for 13 years. I'm going to share it. 4 children, all my children were by my first husband. And he was a track star. That was one of the things that he did. His record didn't go broken for 10 years. He was his goal was to become an Olympic, and he could have did it if he hadn't got injured, like most of our men do get injured. I was in all full force even before we started to date. I was all for supporting him. Go as far as you can. Go. You got this. Not interested in marriage or anything at that time, because I was interested in trying to pursue my nursing career at that time and trying to decide whether or not I was going to accept the scholarship to the ATL in the 90s for fashion design and nursing. So, and then I was already heavily involved with a lot of the ministry, youth ministry and missionary work with my church at the time. And so I didn't have dating or courtship or marriage in mind. Saying all that to say, looking back now, 30 years now have gone by. The only one that was able to break at the time, that was able to break his record, was my firstborn nephew, which just turned 30 this year. As a matter of fact, this past August, y'all hear that thunderstorm? We needed that rain. Ooh, I know the earth is happy. The crop is happy because it was very sunny and muggy out here. But anywho, saying that, I started reflecting back on what did I learn instead of just the things that didn't work out right. I wanted to seize my thoughts, seize the thoughts. At the time, it felt like turmoil going through a divorce and realizing that, wait a minute, you didn't finish the legacy. You didn't do the greatest thing that you could have did. And to keep this family together, you couldn't endure to the end. And I was thinking to myself, no, because once again, I grew up with whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever thing is honest, whatsoever thing is just, whatsoever thing is pure, whatsoever thing is lovely, whatsoever thing is a good report. Let this virtue be found in you. I didn't understand and fully understand at that time, and didn't know at that time that I could endure to the end for the sake of the family. All I knew was that the race is not given to the swiftest, to the strongest, to the fastest, or to the strongest, but to he that endures to the end. I realized there was a life lesson of reflecting back of being with a track star. That was a life lesson. Didn't know that years later, now we're going to have to apply it to health and wellness and spiritual health. Didn't know that 20 some years later, we was going to have to apply it to a loss of a firstborn child. Didn't know that 20 some years later, that we was going to have to apply it to, you have to be healthy and well because you want to see the grandchildren. Didn't know that we was going to have to give it all back to the children and to all of those that we were part of in different ministries. We didn't know. We knew that it was in us because it was in our parents. But we did not know the fullness. We did not know the end. Just like those of you that have children, they don't know the end, but we are the ones that are supposed to accept it, that are supposed to set the example, even when you fail. So the thing that came to mind while I was talking to my elder, Queen Brady, Mother Brady, was, I say, y'all remember, y'all seen the times, I don't know about y'all, but I get real encouraged and excited when I'm watching a little track and field running. I think because I ran too, but since it fell on Bible study time, my family wouldn't allow the girls to run if it fell on church time. And so I just took pleasure in just waiting till gym time came and it was time to go outside. And then I wanted to beat all of the girls that was on the track field. So I had to take out my frustration. Okay, I can't be on the team, but I'm going to show you what y'all just missed. And so, saying that to say that when I thought about the relay, and we all see what they did in 2024 relay, right? What the Sister Loves did with the relay. But any of y'all that's into that, I thought about how there were those who failed on their way that wasn't faster than our fastest track. What's her name? Sakara. Y'all know the girl name. They went faster than her. But it's something about when you see somebody coming out the blocks and they running as hard as they can. And they got that speed going. And they got it. They going. They just got it going. And then bloop, somebody trip. Or somebody bump into them. Or better yet, in relay, somebody don't pass the baton right. They drop it. Now they lose momentum. Boy, I don't know about y'all, but whoo, when I see that momentum, boy, thank you, Sister Shakira Richardson. Wow! Hey, Alicia, how you doing? I'm like, boy, to see she come back, then how the nerves go like this, like beep beep. That's the mentality that I have. That's the mentality that I have. No matter how many times we fall, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and do it again. Don't just try it. Do it, because we have instructions here now, y'all. We are the generation that's also without an excuse. We're talking about it now, y'all. Come on now, those of y'all that's yeah 70s, some of the 80 babies, but 70s and 60s. Come on now, y'all. We're that generation that they're looking to as the example. And they may not conceive all of what God has instilled in us because they are in a society now where the internet has taught them to focus on the negatives and what Cat Williams said and what they're doing to P. Diddy. And it's all negativity. This is the reason why it's challenging for me to do a segment on that. Even though I have the platform, I know that will boost my ratings. If anything, I blocked out certain things. I didn't care about that. But I cared about is expressing and being noted for speaking life into our people. Not just telling you what to eat and fruits and vegetables. You got 100 different people you can go on the internet now and get talked about fruits and vegetables. And now biblically, so a lot of people are doing that too. It's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. So I don't think I'm nothing unique and nothing different. I'm just me. I'm another part of the body of Christ. What's new and different about a pinky finger? If your finger ain't been cut off, it's still a finger. Well, I got a unique kind of finger. See my finger. See my finger right here. See my finger a little fat here. It's the same function. Well, I got a new different book. Yeah, I like the way he worded it, but the saying is still biblical. It's still in there, y'all. Still the saying. He still gave credit where it came from, Philippians 4 and 8. I don't think he thinks he's nothing special because he did that. What he did was regurgitate that is good for the mind. And this is our place to set this example, you all. Not to judge what the world is doing. The world is going to be the world. Let the eunuch be the eunuch. Let the sinner be the sinner is what I see that's written. So that should not be no shocking. This is not something, think about it. Thessalonians speaks against that, you all. Remember the church of Thessalonians did that. It mocked it. It took pleasure. And I can't be around that either. Well, we got to keep laughing it up and gapping up. It's a crying shame. That every time, I'm going to say it, that every time a black man, no matter where he's from, across this world, every time a black man, especially in America, gets some money, fame, wealth for whatever, whether he a preacher, whether he be an actor, a singer, star, that every time he tries to practice anything that's not ungodly, like his other counterparts that has been created to be that way, that we have to sit here and watch him fall. It's a crying shame. That is nothing to be happy about. It is nothing to laugh about. It is nothing to be rejoicing about. It is not nothing. It's not good for our health. It's not good for your mental. Because guess what? Over 1 million of our youth was watching this. And they've been trained by the music. They've been trained by, I know. The influence is already there. Look how many broken men and women all over the world that went through that portal. Look how much sex trafficking, how many of our children were hurt. And while the focus is on him because he's connected to money, while the focus is on somebody else that keeps saying, I did, we're losing our children. We're losing the mind of God. What's I'm going to say? I'm going to say this again for those who's new just tuning in. Finally, my brethren, whatsoever thing is true. Here we go. What goes beyond just being true. Whatsoever thing is honest. What goes beyond being honest. It didn't just separate, y'all, and just leave it at just true and honest, because there's a lot of negativity that's true and honest. Whatsoever thing is just. It's justice is going to be served, but really, will it be? Or will it just be for ours? Whatsoever thing is pure, in what heart, what intent do they have for us as a people? That every time you look up, we've been judged for what they've been doing. And because they got a little bit more money and a little bit more fame, and because they have a God complex. And I'm not saying this to say that there should not be no punishment or no chastisement. Absolutely not. That's going to happen. There's a system set up to make that happen from God and from mankind. That's obvious. But I'm saying, what good does it do us health-wise, y'all, mentally, to be rejoicing in this and laughing and mocking and scorning? I never even liked it when we was even talking about it for Lizzo. Oh, look at she big and she this and she that. What good? Like, share you all on this Motivational Monday. What good? I don't care that you said the bullying worked, but it didn't work without sending that girl into mental depression. She went into suicidal thoughts, y'all. That's never good. When it said through love and kindness have I drawn thee, there's more people that's been healed. And I got the stats from it, even from the house pitiful. More people have been delivered and healed from love and kindness than they ever have been from being beaten, mocked, and joked. As a matter of fact, if you look at our suicidal rate of how many of our children that got on this social media platform and that committed suicide, I personally know. I have associates. That child lost their life at 8th grade, took her own life because she was being cyberbullied. Daddy loved her good. Mama loved her good. She didn't want for nothing but just to be loved. So tell me about this internet and why the power of the minds, how we can ever afford to get off of what we are supposed to be feeding our minds is more healthy and that's more good. We got to. Once you acknowledge it, once you see the problem, that means we're responsible for creating a solution. No, we cannot depend on our presidents to do that. That is not what they're in their position to do, no matter how much of propaganda and lies that's been told, no matter how much dishonesty has been shared, no matter how much unjustness is going on in our world today. No, that is each and every one of us, because it's for every 5 to 10, your neighbor, your community, where you are. It's our responsibility. And until we learn how to be accountable for our own action, our own homes, our own lives, our own marriages, our own everything, then we will always fall. We'll never be able to endure to the end. I admit it. I was not that woman. I am not that woman that can take a man speaking down to me, and I'm here I am giving my all to make sure that my family is healthy and well. Making sure that I support you to the bitter end. No matter how ugly you look and sound, no matter how narcissistic and sick you are, I am not that woman. I don't know about y'all. And there are a lot of our men that can't take it either, women. They blame us as Black women because we are their first. We are their mothers first. We are their sisters first. We are their aunties first. So when they're hurt by us, they can't take it. Most of them can't handle it. And so for that cause, it breeds a hatred. Am I saying that it's right? Absolutely not. It's not right. Because there's so many more of us that are loving, that are kind, that are just, that are pure. And we've been hurt too. We've been victimized too. So what do you do when both parties have been a victim, when both parties have been hurt, when both parties have had to encounter all these evil thoughts and all of this wickedness is going on? What do we do? I have an answer on this Motivational Monday. Like, share, you all. I have an answer to all of this madness. We heal together. We speak life into each other. When your wife cries, if you don't feel hurt within you, if you don't feel like it's making you want to cry, then it's time for you to get some help. When your husband is angry and he's feeling down and out and depressed, and you don't feel nothing, that means it's time to get some therapy and some help. And not just there, some counseling, some good, godly, spiritual, unbiased. May I say unbiased? One that's for the man and the woman. Yeah, I said it. That balance, it has to be there. It can't be that you go get counsel for somebody that, oh, because I was addicted to drugs, I'm more for the spouse that was addicted to drugs, because I understand I was addicted to drugs too. It's got to be more than that. The biggest issue that I see that we have today, you all, it's not food. It's not food. I used to think it was too. That is just a container. That's just a vessel. It is attached to the lust of the eye. It is the lust of the flesh. And we do feel good when we're able to eat good, but that's not it. That's not it, because many of us have been raised up on junk food and had mothers and fathers that couldn't cook. That's not it. I used to think that it was. I did. I gave a big credit to it. It's not it. It's love in our heart one for another. And I know you've heard it before. It's us not focusing on finally, my brother, whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever thing is honest, whatsoever thing is just, whatsoever thing is pure, whatsoever thing is lovely, whatsoever thing is of a good report. Why you think that so many people, when we witness a crime, they don't like to come out and file a report? Because not just because they want to see a criminal get by, but because they don't like the thought of having to write down something negative. And some of them say, we don't want to be the rat. Look at what they call when you have to try to write down a bad report of what somebody done. The rat. Man, you just got ratted out. Just the mentality. Here in this book, The Mathematics of the Mind by Brother Nuri Muhammad, it teaches. He's doing an excellent job just with this part right here. I read this with you all. This is my first time on God that I read this, and how he beautifully, mentally, a beautiful mind that put this together so that we can be reminded of this is where we have fallen too short. Yes, I am. Yes, I could have used this platform for a whole lot of things, you all. I have plenty of things I can do. I can do raps. I can do jewelry. I can have more colleagues and people that I know up on here, and we can make this thing a big old thing. But I was blessed, and I pray that I'll be able to be a blessing to you all that's tuning in today. Please like and share. I pray that I'm able to encourage you all to be more so, to have a good mind, to seize and take authority of the thoughts that come to weigh you down, to stress you. And anybody that's in your ear canal, that's in your visual, that I pray to God that even when it's a pretty face or a handsome face, that's spewing out deceit, that's spewing out manipulation, that's spewing out that is of a bad report, and then want to couple it with making it seem like they're trying to give you a good report. You can't serve two gods. You can't. If we're not supposed to have a spirit of fear, then why are we using fear tactics to try to get people to learn? Yeah, in some cases, when you're afraid, it'll make you stay in the house. But if you got to go to work, is that a good thing? No, it's not. If I scare you all so much that when Wellness Wednesday come on Wednesday at 5 p.m., if I start to scare you into believing that all food is horrible and everything is going to kill you, will you buy any food? That's what fear does. It creates anxiety. And then what? Now I got a solution. Hey, come and take my anxiety herb. Now I just made some money off of you. See how that works? That's manipulation at its finest. Create the problem, but also make you think that I got the solution for you. Now I know. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it 1,000,000 with you, y'all. I don't know how to do nothing else, and I may be considered unpopular because of it, but I do not care about that. What I care about is to sharing truth that it helps set our people free, the minds free, in a good way, in a just way, in a pure way, in a virtue way. That all the herbs in the world can't help heal your heart. Yep, I said it. All the eating the finest of the food in the world don't guarantee you long life. I've seen it. I've lived it. It doesn't promise you that your family won't be torn apart. All it takes is for your mate to start craving ding dongs and other things, and before you know it, you got a monster on your hand, and now you fear you got to get away. All it takes is for whatever their fetish is, their sexual addictions, the drug addict addictions, the drinking addictions to take place while one is trying to be healthy and the one is being unhealthy. That's all it takes is for one to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it's over with. So food is not just it. It's the love in the heart, because I've never seen, and I think there's a scripture that talks about that. I've never seen a man deny himself, not love himself, and not love his wife. Where there is love, there is no separation. Where there is love for a parent, for the child, there is no giving up on your child. I don't care if you got to take him and find a way to get him to an exorcist. You don't do it. Where there is love, pure love in the heart, there is no bouncing from marriage to marriage. There is no bouncing from new kids to new kids. There is no bouncing from job to job if you love what you do. We know what we love. It's what we do. It's what we give most of our time to. If you love talking, then that's all you'll ever be doing is found just talking. Not doing none of most of what you're talking. You're just talking. If you love playing sports, then that's what you're going to be found doing the most of. Sports. Making money, playing sports. Getting banged up, playing sports. If you love teaching, that's what you're going to be found doing the most of. Hey there, Sister Linda. How are you? Good to see you all tuning in this Motivational Monday. Please like and share. Make sure you are subscribed. This helped me to build the channel so I can continue to come for you all. And so I have had to miss some Mondays, but most of the time I am here as long as the internet connection is upright and no health emergencies is taking place. Look at that thunderstorm. Somebody said, God, up there bowling. Our people are something else. Had to break the ice a little bit. Y'all just know me, Dr. Chef, Dr. Felicia Ann Hill, I love you all with all of my heart. I do. And nothing could change that. I thought that when my mother passed here, I thought that when my father passed, I thought that when my favorite aunt passed, I thought that when my firstborn passed, that I could go numb. Yes, I did. And then when in the midst of losing them, to be facing not enough loving support, not enough loving, without it being about showboating, I thought that I could just shut it down. I did. But once again, I had to seize that thought. I had to choose to seize that thought deliberately, on purpose, intentionally. I had to. I had I could hear my Auntie Michelle that transitioned about 8 years ago. She said she would say to me as a young girl, she said, when she would be in her most greatest pain for having rheumatoid arthritis all over her body, started at the age of 8, 9 years old. I remember seeing the progression of it. And she would say, I could tell she was sad, and I was always trying to do something funny to make her happy every time I could be around her. Something, because her laugh was so contagious. It was so strong. And she would say, you always have some, it's so good to know that you have such a positive, you're a very optimistic child. And I remember thinking, what is optimistic? I knew it had to be something good. But at that time, my vocabulary, my definition wasn't great. I just knew it wasn't that bad, because when she said it in such an endearing, in a very endearing way. And so later on, I looked up the word optimistic. Be optimistic. I looked it up. What does optimistic mean? One that thinks positively. I added against all odds. I couldn't help myself. Hey, there's Lisa. I had to choose to be optimistic, even in the midst of death. I had to choose to be optimistic, even in the midst of divorce. I had to choose to be optimistic, even with starting over my business. I had to choose to be optimistic, even with being homeless. I had to choose to be optimistic. I had to seize the thoughts. You have to seize it, you all. That's how I make it. It's not strength. It's the thought that I must endure to the end. I must. Seeing my mother leave here and not have all of this information, regardless of how much I had, but to know that she had the weight of the world of church and family and everybody, and caring and loving, and the connection and diehard spirit of being a wife in her. I said, Father, what can I get out of this that you would not allow me to save my mama? That's my girl. That's my mama. I had to seize the thoughts. The scriptures came to mind that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. A mind that will allow everything in it that's negative, no matter how true it is, no matter how real it is. You can't move. It will take and put you in a state of death. You can't progress. So because I've lived it now and I'm living through it day by day, I constantly hear the thought. I constantly hear that scripture, Philippians 4:8. And I've been quoting this scripture, y'all, since the age of 15. Every time I had a challenging time in school, every time I'd seen something that I didn't like in the neighborhood, every time I could hear somebody talking about me, well, she got them skirts on every day. So what? She did, she that, she that. Every time. That scripture would come to my mind. And then again, Mother Brady. Thank you, Mother Brady. If you see this video, if not, I'm going to have to share it to you. Acknowledge God in all your ways, and he shall direct your path. I like also the scriptures that states that if our people, there is a condition, you all don't let nobody tell you that God loves you and is unconditional. Show that to me in any writing, in any scripture. Please. I don't care what dialect you find it in. Show it to me. Prove it to me that it's not with a condition. Prove it to me. Find it for me. Somebody, please. I won't debate it. I'll just read it. I'm like, interesting. But all I see is conditions. It says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves. There is a condition, you all. And pray is in order. Seek my face. Seek his face. How can we seek a spiritual ghost's face? It said it. I haven't heard anybody debate it from no dialect. Seek his face. That means you have to seek out the knowledge. And turn. I like how Brother Ishmael, Mother Tanetta Muhammad's son, brought that out. Turn. He said that's the most challenging thing on this past Saturday that he mentioned. And I like how he said, because that's what was stuck in my mind. That I think that we haven't the issue with turning. Turn. Waiting on for somebody to bust us out. Waiting on for somebody to start practicing these negative things, falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, slander, all these toxic thoughts. See, the sinner man and the ungodly man that gathered his jewels or gathered his riches based off of falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, slander. This even goes for the preachers, y'all, too, and the pastors. If you became that, I don't care how much you say God called you. And I'm not judging. I'm just calling out like I said. I don't care how many people follow you. I don't care how big your Facebook page get. I don't care how many people you say that you've helped across the world. Once again, if it is built off of, I'm going to say it again, falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, slander, and all toxic thoughts, it ain't going to last. Only what you really do for Christ really do last. Only what you do with a pure heart. Only what you do for justice. Only what you do that's lovely will last. How many of y'all been to funerals like I have where people, the first thing that they mentioned was they was a really good person? You don't hear everybody from the job and all the ministries coming up testifying about how they helped save their soul. Who looks for the family first to see what the family says? I think most of us have been trained to look to see what the family says. My God, if you had many. I know I looked for it for my father, for my biological father, since he had many children, my many women. I'm the oldest of them. 12 that we can count. I wanted to know what people had to say. I wanted to know what the women had to say about my father, because he had made up his mind at 16, at 17 years old, that if he didn't marry my mother, he wasn't marrying nobody, and he kept that to his grave. Then not a one had anything negative to say about him. He never abused him. He never talked down to him. He was always the perfect gentleman. He always paid the bills. He always took care of them. For the ones who stayed in town, the ones who stayed around, the ones who didn't remarry. I kept hearing it over and over and over again. I'm like, wow. So even in the case of you not doing the most perfect moral thing, I've learned there's still the spirit in how you do something matters. How you treat, it still always go back to how you treat one another. You can't hang up on your brother. We can't practice hanging up on our brothers and sisters just because they expressing to you what hurt their feelings or what hurt their heart. And you call them weak, you thinking them to be nothing. We can't sit here and not hear each other's heart in the matter. Everybody that's been exploited has children. That next generation, yes, I'm sure they're learning what not to do. But at the same time, you all, we don't know if later on in life or soon, if whether or not that's going to cause some of them to get hooked on drugs. It's not their fault what their parents have done. They wasn't born before the parents. And a picture in the video does not justify and states that they are well. They have no support if we don't give it to them. After all, each like counts. All the views do matter. That's what they're getting paid for. Now, I'm not speaking to the world of the worldly people that's about that life, as they say. I'm speaking to those of us who say that we are children of God, that understand that you are chosen, that says that I have love, that says that I really want to see our people do better. Now, I know that's not going to be all of them. I'm only speaking to the few, for the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. That yes, I do believe that hell has enlarged itself, evil has enlarged itself, and it says that a mouth has no measure. It doesn't say that about the heavens of the heavens, of those of us who are making it. As a matter of fact, we give a number, 1,044,000 of them, 144,000 that's going to come along. There's a number to this. Mathematics, y'all. Mathematics of the mind. There's a calculation that was done on how many would actually make it for those who that believe this. And we're seeing it now. So, hey, I didn't mean to go that deep, y'all. I didn't. It just hit me. It hit me. I pray that I've said something. That those of y'all that want to tune in, you all that want to tune in, please like and share. That is how I have built the channel. Like and share. Those of y'all that want to know about our specials that I have set from Wellness Wednesday. I do still have sea moss in stock, the 102 minerals that the body needs in order to help heal this yourself. I also am taking the $25 donation for those who want to sign up to get one of the most powerful immune sprays that actually tastes good, that you can spray in your mouth to help boost your immune system no matter what diet that you're on. And it will help clear out your sinuses, headaches, colds, flu season, and help get you the adrenaline that your whole system needs in order to be able to be stronger to fight up against the weather that we have that's coming, you all. As you all know, that once again, I believe that your health is your wealth, but I also believe that your health is also attached to your spiritual and your mental health. That's the reason why I say that these motivational Mondays are set for your mind, body, and your whole soul. If you have sold your soul, it's still good for the mind, because you never know. It may be a way that you can get it back. I pray that it is. Now, I hope that something that I said have helped encourage you all and motivate you all to think about what we feed our minds. Again, the book that I read my passage from was from the Mathematics of the Mind for the Nuri Muhammad. No, he did not ask me to promote this at all. It was just something that hit on my spirit, on my mind, to just grab it and go forward. Look at the index and see what is powerful there. It's not applied. This is just what I truly believe God just had for me to share. And just note that I love each and every one of you all. I wish the best for you all. Understand that, yes, I do provide drug counseling. I provide mental health counseling, spiritual counseling, relationship counseling, family counseling. I provide that from a holistic way of living and eating, but also just in general for those who just ailing in the mind from anxiety and for stress. Today's this month, I have the special running in honor of my daughter Najee Angelise that passed. I have her set in motion. The special for $25, and for those who want to just call in for a donation, you also get a free product as well. So there's two different specials that's going on. The consultations run from anywhere from 30 or more, depending on the situation or whether or not I have anyone behind you. We have that rating for that amount of time, and so that's until the very, very end of this month. So I say take advantage of it, you all. When you do pay in for your consultation for whatever is ailing your mind, your your body and your soul. Note that helps me to place back into the products that help with stamina, the energy. The B12 is what's popping right now. Everybody want to get some extra strength and energy. So orders come in. I have shipment of that coming in very, very soon. And then also my 102 minerals, sea moss, and also the colon cleanse is what I have in stock. Still on back order is my advanced multivitamin. I'm gonna wind up downsizing so that I can be able to focus on more things like still promoting getting my cookbook out, and then another personal book that I am working on getting out. I just want to make sure that that I'm being led by God for surely in what I choose to share in my book. But I know and believe and trust that in my mind, y'all, that is going to help heal the minds of a lot of our people. And so I want you all to continue to pray for me, those who believe in the power of prayer and in good prayers, that God will continue to order my steps and to direct my path now that I have the opportunity to do just that, because I've taken care of people all of my little life. And I think I will always be doing that. But more so, I have the opportunity to do it for self more so now than ever before. And so for that, I am grateful. And I'm also grateful that I still have the mind to want to share with you all. And for those of you all that want to send in prayer requests, even though I have not been doing a lot of prayers over the line yet, you can still call in and ask for that. I'm very universal with the prayers as well. And so prayers has never been taken off the max. The word of God has never been taken off. It's just that I refuse to try to do it like a lot of other people have chosen to do. And that's render that word in a manner that makes it seem like it's favorable to themselves and not really breaking down all of the many faceted ways that this has a major negative effect on ourselves and on our families. I just like for us to be more honest and more pure. Y'all know. Go ahead. You all know the theme scripture for surely for today was most definitely Philippians 4:8. Once again, it's been with me now for over 30 years now, and it's been helping me a lot. It really will help you to weave out anything that's too toxic and anything that's too negative in your life. You want to be the positive influence, not be influenced by that is negative. So I'm strongly encourage us all to most definitely keep Philippians 4:8 in mind anytime when somebody's trying to feed your mind things that's not good. Once again, finally, my brother, whatsoever thing is pure, whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever thing is honest, whatsoever thing is just, whatsoever thing is pure, whatsoever thing is lovely, whatsoever thing is good of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Powerful, you all. Powerful. And once again, the other thought of falsehood, once again, it says that these types of thoughts are called the tonic thoughts. Don't forget that. Tonic thoughts. Falsehood, lies, unjust, impure, hateful, gossip, slander, and all toxic thoughts. That is which is tonic heals. That which is toxic kills. In this chapter, keep in mind that chapter on chapter 15 of the book of the Mathematics of the Mind, which you can get for $20 online. Please Google that and support the brother in this cause. This brother has most definitely been working in the ministry for a long time. He does a lot of great work all over America and abroad for our youth. He knows what trials and tribulation is. I was blessed to be able to see and meet them twice. And I'm telling you now, the spirit is real. His beautiful wife, they've been married for over 30 some years, and they both look like they about younger than 30 almost themselves, but you never know that they have gone through, but he has produced something so great and so powerful by using the word of God and by using the practical things that we often go through to be able to help us to better understand what the power of the mind is, how it controls everything. So don't forget to seize your thoughts anytime they get too negative and get you to a place of depression and stress, you all. So when you're calling for your consultation at the 618-388-8100 number, note that this is what I talk about. So Sister Tyrell and them can tell you, different ones that have called in for consultations, we don't just talk about what you're going to eat. We talk about what's really truly ailing you in your life. I just saw somebody post that they would like to order something. I will check that after this Motivational Monday. Hey there, Sister Janice. Shanice, praying for your mom. I pray that your mother is doing well. Is she doing better? Please give me an update. I did see the post that you post out there. So for everyone that's ailing and have mothers, let me say this before I leave and shut it down. Please go back and like and share. I think you all probably would like that better. This is most definitely one of my better motivational Mondays, and I'm so thankful to God that I just listened to the mind, that I listened to that positive thought that said to just pick it up and go through it. Just pick it up. I mean, literally 5 minutes before I got on here, y'all. That's the power of the mind. And so please send in your requests for prayers. I do have a prayer warrior team that I work with, you all, that are very, very, very good. That I want you all to know that not for a second can I ever leave out God. I was just talking to the mother. I'm going to say this and then I'm getting ready to close out. I was just talking to the mother, Brady, about it in my upbringing and the things that I had to learn from going through divorce and then going through the losing of my mother, my child, and both parents. And I do want to give thanks to my step-up dad. He is still an active step-up dad. Him and my mother were married 20 years to death do part. And he's still a father figure. He's still an example. He never takes on a lot of negative things like what I've just read. And I actually saw that. I'm not saying that he's perfect, but what I am saying is that this is something that he has always shared to be uplifting and very encouraging. A lot of wisdom that I know that this is the reason why Satan wants to constantly try to attack him. But he is one that even though he doesn't have a huge church, he's known for wanting to always help people, always want to do right by people. But I have learned through being raised among pastors and y'all Facebook, I think they went out. I've learned through going through by living with pastors. I have learned that and uncles and different ones that always have done missionary work across the states and countries, that still is always in the heart. Because as you all see, a lot of these people that have been exposed that's not considered holy people, they still did a lot of charity work too. A lot of them have invested in land and property. A lot of them got tax write-offs in the millions of charity that they've done. And they did it for years. But what happens is that a God complex sets in, you all, sometimes, when most times. And it's evident that our men in particularly don't know how to handle that. And now that's rubbing off on some of our women too. I'm not saying that women have never been known to be able to encounter wealth and fame and be perfect. I'm not saying that, but it's more known among our men that that is a very, very, very pragmatic problem. And because the God complex takes over and they think that because they're in control and rule over something, that means that they can't be judged either. And that's what has happened. They got comfortable with, because of what they were known for that was considered something good. They thought that they could hide. They thought that they could hide all of the evil things, the toxic things, and they couldn't. Or either they'll just share a little bit, and you ought to know it because the famous saying is, well, nobody's perfect. We all use that. But when people in authority, when people with positions say that, they're covering a whole lot more. Well, I struggle too. That's generalized. You struggle with what? It's not just with one thing, especially if you're not successful with your family. You're not struggling with just one thing. Ain't nobody just up and left. And it ain't never going to be just about ministry. It'll never just be about a call. It's how you handle your call. It's how you treat the people that love you and support you, that see your so-called calling. And I have to say so-called because we don't know until you finish the race. And once again, the race is not given to the swift or to the strong man, but to he that endures to the end. And so I encourage you all to please keep your minds right, keep your minds healthy. Remember, seize those negative thoughts that come to try to weigh you down and come to depress you on this Motivational Monday. Continue to keep me and my son, Kenneth Nigel, and you all's prayers, that God do all the great work that he needs to do with him. He's doing a miraculous thing in his mind and in his life. I look forward to sharing the stage with him very soon. I look forward to it. But I want you all to continue to pray for my children, and I will do the same for you and you all's. Keep my sister Dorman in your prayers as she go through her healing process as well, Sister Dorman. Also keep any and everybody else that is tuned in, Sister Tyra, her mother, any other rest of you all that are tuning in that may have sick loved ones, whether it be mentally, physically, cancer, it don't matter in what type of sickness, drug user, it doesn't matter. Keep them in your prayers, and most definitely remember to pour good things into them, you all. The negative is always obvious. So is the positive, but the negative is spoke about the most. So that's each one teach one. Let us all take turns on trying to intentionally, deliberately remembering to share good thoughts, pure things, true things, honest things, lovely things. And I think we can make this world a little bit more better, just a little bit. All right. I love you all. You all be blessed. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, look forward to seeing you all at 5 p.m. again. God say the same. Until then, you all be healthy on purpose. And remember to be healthy more mentally from your mind, body, and whole soul. Be healthy more in 2024. Bye-bye.